So the Women's League Bat Mitzvah class started last September, but we started to hear from a few of you, and especially those of you who are taking the Hebrew classes, that you were interested in joining in with the Bat Mitzvah class. So we wanted to put it out there and see how many people would be interested. The Bat Mitzvah class meets once a month on a Thursday night at 7:30 Eastern time. And the next class, if you decide to join in, would be this Thursday night at 7:30. We try to have guest rabbis coming in. We have a guest rabbi this week who is Rabbi Janet Ozer-Bass, and she's a friend from Seaboard here, local rabbi to me, head of the middle school at the Jewish Day School here. So, and she's an amazing teacher. She's done a lot of things for the region and for Women's League before. So anyway, that's this class. Let me tell you a little bit about the structure. So I think because it's a small group of you that want to join in, we would try, instead of having you start, the Bat Mitzvah class is a 3-year commitment, a 3-year program. The curriculum was developed, created by Melton for Women's League. And really the first 2 years are like an introduction to Judaism course. There's a whole range of knowledge in the class. So there are some people who know a lot or who don't know a lot, but there are some people who had a bat mitzvah many years ago, or who never had a bat mitzvah, or who had a bat mitzvah on a Friday night when girls couldn't do as much as the boys. And so there's all different reasons people are taking this class, and all different levels. But when we teach the class, or when our guest rabbis teach the class, we're assuming no prior knowledge. So don't think, oh, I can't do this because I don't know this. We know that. We know that there are people in the class with that experience. The idea behind this was the curriculum would be 3 years, and at the end of the 3rd year, which would coincide with the next Women's League convention in 2023 in Chicago, Chicagoland, Chicago suburbs, there would be some kind of ceremony, celebration, something to mark the end or the beginning of learning. Excuse me. So that was kind of the goal and the plan behind it. There are about 32 women that are in the class currently. And I think what we would do with you, if you were interested in signing up for this, is we would try to catch you up on these months instead of starting a new cohort where you then would not get to celebrate your bat mitzvah convention because you would have another year after that. Instead of doing that, we decided to just kind of meet with you over the summer as a group and go over the classes that you've missed. All the classes are recorded. They've all been recorded. So we're not quite sure yet, but there would be some way to meet with you and make sure you could watch the recordings and then understood the recordings, and you could ask questions. It wouldn't just be go off on your own and watch 12 hours of class. So, and I just want to introduce Rabbi Margie Sella, who's our education program coordinator, our professional person from Women's League, joining in with us tonight. So,
hi, everybody.
Hi.
so that's basically kind of the structure of the class. The class is about an hour and a half once a month from 7:30 to 9 o'clock Eastern time. We try to finish up. We will send out every month the handouts that you'll need for the class. But in addition to what we send out, you'll need some kind of siddur or chumash. It doesn't matter what version it is. Usually you can borrow one from your synagogue. But if you can't, we can send you a PDF of the files too. And then we have 2 textbooks that you'll need for the class. One, do I only have one? I only have one in front of me. So one of them is called It's a Mitzvah by Rabbi Brad Artson. And these you can get both of them on Amazon. The other one is called Entering Jewish Prayer, right? Is that what it is? Entering Jewish Prayer by Reuven Hammer.
We'll send a quick little email out after this, so don't worry about it.
Right.
We'll have the info on it. Okay.
All right. Yeah.
And then the last thing is that there's a cost to this class, which is $36, and that covers the 3 years and just any kind of materials that we're sending out to you or to bring in some of these people to teach. It's going to that.
We send them little gifts afterwards, so this defrays some of it. It's 36 for all 3 years, one payment only. It's a good deal. And,
It's a very good deal.
It is.
And what we would do is
defray some of those costs.
Oh yeah.
we will set up.
You mean we don't get, and I'm totally teasing with this.
What are you asking?
Because I can't believe that you're going to commit to bringing us up to speed. Oh, we don't get a discount because we're only doing 2 years?
No, you don't get a discount. You're lucky you'll get.
Oh, wait a minute. I want Canadian funds.
They'll whatever it converts to, they'll set up a Whiz Events link like you would normally register for other women's league things. I have to say I can't remember how it converts, how they converted the
Canadian.
The Canadian.
Yeah.
But I mean, there are other Canadians in the class, so.
Oh, that's interesting.
We should probably.
It's going to cost me. It's going to cost me more, and it's only 2 years. No, it's a donation. I'm teasing.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the effort, they're really
But we're coming back
going
to
above
do
and
this
beyond.
again. You get us an extra time, so.
Right,
it's fun.
you get more individual attention.
That's
with
There you
us.
go. So, but we will work this out. We'll get you caught up. So however we work this out, we have to figure out a schedule because it's extra on us to do this again, but
It really is.
it's
I
fine.
can't get over that you're doing this.
Yeah.
well,
So
we
the-
want
well,
this. This is a meaningful program. I have to tell you, on a Thursday night, the 2 of us go in, we're dragging, we're tired, and then it's so invigorating afterwards. We always have the same conversation. Wow, that was so wonderful. Aren't they
Yeah.
great? And so it's a very lovely situation as far as the giving and the taking on both sides of this, which is why we're doing this.
And
So,
we get to learn from all of the teachers too.
right.
So, because you can always learn more, no matter, where you are, you can always learn more.
So that's why we had to make the decision very quickly, and we really gave you about 2 or 3 days and said, you got to know, because we needed to get you in if you're interested, starting this Thursday night, so that we don't fall behind another class. It just happened that way. There is a Hebrew requirement. The Hebrew requirement is that you will, and some of you are in some of the Hebrew classes already, and some of you are fine on this, but it's that you will be able to read, the basic alphabet, hopefully more than that you will be able to, do some basic tefillot or prayers, whatever. So if that's an issue, when we offer the Hebrew classes in the fall, you need to be prepared to sign up, especially if you're a beginner or a little bit more than a beginner. We want to get you so you're somewhat fluent in the reading in that.
And
Okay, so kind of
Jer-
keep that in mind.
Jolene, I see you hiding from that, but Arlene and Debbie and Doreen, right? You're taking it now?
I know I was, and I dropped out.
You were, okay. Well,
I
you
think
guys
our-
I was
started
finding,
it.
I was finding that it
taking
was
it.
too long. It was just too compressed. It was also a bad time physically for me, and I didn't realize that. So I might have more energy for it now, but I just found that there was too much to learn in that time period.
But so we've extended it out a little bit longer. And the people that have taken the beginner class
Yeah.
have,
That's
I
us.
mean, I get emails that said, you know, I never thought, I've tried to learn Hebrew
Yeah.
many times and it never stuck. And now, you know, I can read. So don't let that not, you look a little worried about that, but don't
There's-
let it keep you.
And
Oh,
there's no grading,
it's-
Doreen, no grades, no
No.
tests. You can take it as many times as you need. And nobody is saying a word because
Okay,
really,
so,
this is what we want
I'll-
more than anything, is for you to feel that success.
I'll tell you that I had basic Hebrew way back, but
Okay.
in recent years, going to shul and whatever, I can't keep up with what they're reading. So I've learned to just spot words. So it's kind of hard for me to go back to learning to read it.
We have
So-
they're wonderful teachers and they want
Yeah.
success.
They
You know,
are,
They want you to feel good.
Yeah.
So
Our
we'll
teacher
figure it out.
our
Yeah.
teacher has
I'll
been,
give it a
our
shot
teacher has been
again.
fantastic.
Yeah,
I've never
Sharon is
had
wonderful.
exposure. I haven't had any exposure to the Hebrew. And I'm just thrilled each time that we have a class and we go through it together. And it's such a neat group of women that are in that class. And it's so non-threatening, to,
No, I
it's
didn't
very-
find it threatening or anything. It was just that, like I said, I've gotten used to kind of memorizing stuff for services.
Mhm.
So I know where we are and I can follow. But, I know the beginning and I know the end. So I'll read the English in between because I can't keep up. There's no way.
You know what? We have a couple of women who said they would like do some tutoring and it's just, just as a friendly kind of thing. So we can also help with that. Don't let that be a deterrent.
Okay, I'll give it a
Okay.
shot.
We'll
And
work on
there's
it.
plenty of people who are starting, we have different
Right.
levels. So there's plenty of people who are starting with no knowledge at all about
That's
it.
me.
So,
That's me.
Okay.
Can I
Maddie,
ask a
Madeline?
question? Yes, if I could ask, there's no transliteration in the Hebrew, like when you go to shul, you have.
Right, but we want you to be better than that. We want you to be
Okay,
able
but
to
in
read it.
case you mess up.
You'll be fine, okay? Nobody is saying this is not 8th grade or 7th grade. This is a
Okay,
very
okay.
supportive group of women who
Okay.
everybody, no, and what's nice about it is because it isn't middle school and it isn't any of those things. It's women supporting each other and helping each other,
Okay.
and the motivation is really lovely. We want everybody to be
right.
successful.
And also, the idea is to go in and make your best effort. But if you're taking the class and you're, working through it, we're not going to say, oh, well, I mean, some people are better at languages than others and Hebrew is a
Okay.
difficult
Right.
Okay,
language.
thank you.
So we're not going to
That's-
say, if you take the class and you give it your effort and you're still struggling, we're not going to say, well, no, that's it. You can't, have your
Yeah,
butt.
right in the middle of the ceremony, we'll say, Doreen, go sit down.
No, but I
we're
mean,
not.
I would need to be doing
Really?
need to be doing something that I was comfortable with.
You will. I promise you, you will. We have
Okay.
more than enough
But-
women, so we're going to be looking for a lot of little things. Don't worry about
Okay,
it.
Right.
thank you.
Okay.
Doreen,
Yes,
I don't think anybody can be more of a neophyte than me. Okay. Because, this is a whole new life for me, but I can tell you this, even though I was not clipping along at the pace of my other classmates that are here, I am learning, and they are very supportive and encouraging. And so even if I'm getting it through osmosis some kind of way, it is, I'm much better than what I was. And I haven't even, I'm about to attend my first in-service service Friday, and I'm excited
Good.
Okay, I was a little
Yay.
nervous, but
Good.
I was like, okay, so all right. So let's go, Doreen. Let's go.
Like I said, I'll give it a shot, but don't be upset with me if I don't make it in the end with my
We're not
Hebrew,
upset
because
with anybody. We're
I
thrilled that you'll be with us.
I flunked
Okay.
out of French. I didn't go too well in Hebrew school. Language is not my thing.
Okay. All right. And
That's fine.
anyway, you'll be fine.
Thank you.
It's really a nice group of women too, in general, in the whole bat mitzvah class. Everybody's pretty supportive of each other. And, you know, we have a lot of people for whom this is the beginning of a journey. For one reason or another, Judaism may be new to them as well. So that is, you know, a very common kind of situation. And we do have, as Julia said, a range of knowledge. A lot of women who are very knowledgeable, but are missing some of the finer points of things. And so they're finding it interesting on that level. They'll ask questions related to that, while others are at a very basic level. So if we're, you know, if we come across a Hebrew term, we're trying very hard to remind each other what something means. And it's really good for everybody. Everybody needs that review. And, you know, they may not realize they need the review until they hear something that they realize they didn't know. And then they kind of go, oh, now that makes sense. And as knowledgeable as they thought they were, and they are, they still need some of that, you know, that finessing and that fine, you know, that fine kind of learning as well. So it's really a range.
So I can send this out to you. This is just the table of contents from the curriculum that we use, but just as an example, so these are the things that we've covered since September was the first class, but that was really a, like we're doing with you tonight. It was an explanation of the goals of the class and the structure of the class. So we really started in October. So what's that, like 8?
It's 8, I
sessions.
think I counted out.
So we talked about creating a sacred space in the class. We talked about Jewish time, how the Jewish month is structured, and the Jewish, the month as far as the 28 days, the lunar cycle, how the months of the year, of the Jewish year, are structured, and how the holidays fit into those months. We talked about, we had 3 months, 3 whole classes on prayer, about the structure of daily prayer, 1 class on the Amidah, the main prayer that you say in each of the services, the different types of services, the daily service, the Shabbat service, the Shacharit morning service, Mincha afternoon, that kind of thing, and how you can tell wherever you are, you can tell what day it is by the different tunes that they're using, walking into any service. We talked about, we had a class on kashrut, a class on Shabbat, you know, and the teacher for kashrut, he said, so this is it? This is all you're getting on kashrut in 3 years? It's an hour and a half? And yeah, it might come up again, but that was the main folk. There's a lot to cover in Judaism. You know? We had a class on Shabbat. We had a class on Birkat Hamazon, the grace after meals. That might be it. Oh, and then this upcoming class is on families and sort of the obligation of parents to their children. And the other thing is that I just sent out an email today, and I'll forward it all to you too. Every month I send out what
Somebody is not muted, Julia, because there's like
Yeah, like a
Sorry.
TV is on.
yeah.
Okay, sorry,
Thank you.
I'm in another meeting. I'll
That's
mute
okay.
myself. I forgot.
Every month I send out an email the week of the class with the homework, a bio of our guest rabbi, if we're having a rabbi, any of the handouts that you'll need for the class, and the link, so that you have the link handy. It's the same link every month, but you know, it's instead of searching back through your emails for it. So I just sent that out today for Thursday's class. And one thing I added in there that the rest of the class didn't know yet is that we're not meeting over the summer.
So
we're
we
not-
may actually use those 2 times with you to kind of get you caught up. The idea really is to get you back on schedule with them so that you get the enjoyment of being with a much larger class. You get the culminating activity, whatever it is, at convention, and to just sort of, you know, get you in, fulfill all the requirements, do everything that we've done with them, but get you caught up as quickly as possible. So you would be starting on Thursday night, as she said, and there would be no more missing, but we would, you know, figure it out. Julia and I need to talk about how we're going to do this. And as soon as we can, we will probably work with the recordings, listening to the recordings with you, going through it, stopping them as needed, answering questions, and then trying to do maybe the elements of 2 recordings at a time. For some of them, like the Jewish time and a sacred space, could easily be put together as 1 unit. So that would effectively be 2, but we'll do it a little differently. And then we'll see how the rest of it goes. We can get you caught up as long as we don't let it go any more than where it is now. This is about
Right,
the
and-
last moment.
Hang on
Eileen?
1 second, Eileen.
Okay.
And then one more thing, because we only meet once a month, we're really asking that you be there on that
Yeah.
1 day a month. And because it's, you know, we're meeting less than 36 times over the 3 years, and it's a whole bat mitzvah class. So we really can't have people like take a couple of months off and then come back in for a time. And, you know, things happen. You're away, you have, you know, Shiva, whatever it is that you can't make that class. But again, let us know if you can't be there, and then make sure you watch the recording before the next class so that
And-
you're.
Yeah, attendance really is important here. We're trying to keep the number of times that you miss something down to, you know, 1 or 2. That's it.
And we
what
also have all the
Go ahead.
dates, so,
Yeah.
and everyone else in the class has that too. So we can send those dates out through the next year for you.
Is it every third Thursday?
No,
Because
no.
sometimes there's a holiday on the 3rd Thursday. It's always a Thursday, but it's not always the same Thursday in the month.
It comes out a lot of times on the 3rd Thursday, but it's not always that. So there was something else I was going to say. I don't remember.
Eileen,
It'll
did you have
come
a
back.
question?
Yeah, so what's the commitment besides the meetings, besides the classes? Like, is the reading in between? Are there assignments? Are there things?
There are reading assignments. It depends from week to week, from class to class. Some of them, like the ones that we did on prayer, there were a lot in the Reuven Hammer book, which is it's a little denser as far as the text. The Brad Artson book is a much easier book to read, like the one that's part of the reading for Thursday night. There were a couple little writing things, but nothing that would, you know, burden you in any way. And you have a whole month basically to do the reading. Some people do it the week of, some people do it, you know, earlier in the month, whatever. It's totally up to you. And the reading is interesting because it enriches your understanding of whatever is being presented that night. Probably 75 to 80% of the time, we have a guest rabbi. We've tended to have all women rabbis, except for the one time with Kashrut, because he was a mashgiach as well. So he was giving us both sides of.
Yeah, he was
you
a
know,
shochet.
Yeah, he was really.
No, he
you
brought
know,
his knife.
that
and-
part of it. So he was quite involved in it, and it was a very entertaining evening, needless to say.
He was
So,
very funny, right?
Yeah. At any
So you
rate,
might also
ahead.
have to read the handouts that I'm sending for that week. And then we were asking the rabbis to provide a question, like it would be something in a classroom, it would be on the whiteboard or the blackboard when you came in, something to think about. And so we're now sending those questions ahead of time so you can think about it. But other than that, somebody asked me last month, we taught about Birkat Hamazon, and she asked me if the expectation was we were supposed to know the whole, if she was supposed to know the whole Birkat Hamazon by the next class. And I said, no, that is so far from the expectation. The expectation is that you were introduced to it in this class, and now you're introduced to it, and we'll come back to it again. So,
and you know, this really is Torah Lishma, learning for the sake of learning. So that this should be something that is something that you have chosen for yourself, and you learn from each other as well. The question also came up from somebody, and this is what I wanted to talk about. And Julia, you know, feel free to jump in. The third year is when we'll learn some of the conventional bat mitzvah kinds of things with trope and, you know, and things to get you ready for what you know, what we tend to think of as bat mitzvah prep. But the first 2 years, which is why we took the program and made it a 3-year program, so that we would have 2 years to really give you the finer points of a lot of these, you know, intro to Judaism things, so that we really felt as if you were truly bat mitzvah. And then the third year is a little more conventional, I think, and what people are expecting. So, and with the Hebrew, you know, it really kind of does the job. So any questions, comments, anything?
I hate to leave, but I have to. I was like, commitment.
that's
that I
fine.
have,
You know,
and I feel
just
bad, but I'll
email
talk to
us.
Yeah.
Let
well,
us
you have-
know.
Well,
Yeah.
I'd like to try it. I'd like to try it. Let me get an idea. I miss learning a lot, and I saw the types of people you're having teach. So it was appealing. So, but anyway, and we'll talk about the other thing that I asked also.
Rabbi
Okay.
Sella was scheduled to teach on the summer too, and now that we're taking it off, but she'll come back.
We'll
Well,
get her
there's a draw.
rescheduled.
We'll reschedule that date.
So I hope to see
So
all
you'll
of
send
you.
us the information with the titles of the book, where
Right.
we send the $36. Any handouts at that time or not?
Well,
Yeah, I will forward you the email that I just sent out today, which
Okay.
has the handouts linked. I've attached the handouts to it. The handouts will always be digital.
How often would we be meeting in the summer to catch up?
we have to figure that out. It may be over 2 summers. We'll figure this out. We'll play with this a little bit. It may be during, you know, sometime later in another month. We'll resolve this. We just know what we have to make up with you, however we decide to do it. Okay, there is a fixed curricular, you know, part there that we have to make sure we've covered. So it may be fewer than 8
Okay,
hours.
and
Truthfully,
do
we'll
you
have to play with that.
and do you have a curriculum for the third year?
We have something. We have
I
something. We'll
see
have to figure
something
that out.
before I,
We have something. We just have to, we'll develop, there are 3 of us on here that will sit and put, you know, the brains together and figure it out. So,
Right, so the first 2 is very set, that the last year with the trope and prayers and whatever, and we don't know what it's going to be at convention yet, so we don't know what we would have to teach for that. So
and it
we
may
would
be that, yeah, go ahead, Julia, go.
we would
finish.
work with the Tefillah chairs, Debbie Lempert, Toby Holtzman, and with the program chair at convention, who's Rachel Ferber, and Edna Schrank is the overall chair for convention. So we'll work with them to see what that's going to be, and then probably work backward for that third year. We
Okay.
do a lot of, we try in the class that all the teachers will take comments either out loud, you know, unmuting, or by chat. So it's not just an hour and a half of lecture. We really want it to be participatory, and we try every class to have at least one breakout session. So you get together in a small group with other women, so you can get to know them and talk about the topic that's being discussed.
Seems to me you put together an excellent program, and I look forward to being a part of it.
Good,
Great.
great.
What
Thank
she
you.
said.
Yeah.
I
mean, you
will
guys
get, I'll
work
have
hard.
to get a link, a registration link set up. So it might be that I send you this other information first so that you have it by Thursday. And then send the registration link after that, so you can be officially on the rolls.
Sounds good. You
And
guys
we
are
will
doing a
let you
great job.
know, probably we'll do something on that July date to kind of start the,
Yeah,
what we
makes sense.
canceled their class in July, we have this date. So
Yeah,
that,
that's good, yeah.
and Julia, we just need to let them know what that date is, set it aside and we'll figure out, maybe we'll do the
Right.
first 2 hours that night.
It's actually, it's July 15th,
There you go.
July 15th and August 19th were the two class dates that were scheduled, but now we're not meeting during the summer. So we can
So we will
use those
probably
two
work with
times.
you. Yeah,
Yeah.
I can't do August 19th.
So
okay.
those do turn out to both be third Thursdays, but it's not
Yeah.
always like that. And I won't be here on the 19th either.
But
So,
I'll figure that out. We'll
Right.
work on that.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's very user friendly and, just, I think you'll enjoy it. So that's why this was sort of a last chance here to say,
Right.
there may be, we started to hear comments on, oh, I wish I had signed up. Didn't do it. What can I do about it? So we said, all right, we're going to try this one time and see whether we're doing a full second cohort or we can try and get a few people and, get them in, I don't know, integrated into the one that existed. So this is probably
right,
what we're
because
going to
once we
try to
get
do.
into next year, there will
Yeah,
be too
yeah.
much material. So
Right.
Right.
then it will be
So-
set. But
so- Just let us know, okay? If you're interested and so forth. And that's all we really need at this point is just a confirmation. And we'll add you to the attendance list and the rest of it with the books and everything. You'll get the information. So order them from Amazon is probably the quickest way. But if you have another way of doing it, that's fine too. A C-Door you do need. You need either, I think we've been using the Sim Shalom or Lev Shalom. So either one, but you will need access to a C-Door. So if you want to borrow
And can you
one,
still download it from Rabbinical if you don't have it?
yes.
But-
Yes,
mean,
you
does
can
everybody
still
have one?
download it from the Rabbinical Assembly site.
yes. Okay,
I have at least 3 of them because I didn't know which one to order, so I ordered all of them.
okay.
You can never have
You
too
got it
many.
covered.
So I see.
Why get one? You can have 3. Fine. So, all right. Any other questions? Thank you. This was lovely.
And
Thank-
if you think of anything,
Thank you. Thank
you
you.
have my email, and I also copied Ellen on that
Okay.
email, so you have hers
Okay.
too, but I'll send it when I send the rest of the information. I'll put both our emails too. And Rabbi Sala, if you
Rabbi,
have any questions.
Are you
too.
ready for us, Rabbi?
I am ready for you. Absolutely. Let me tell you. I just want to say, for those of you that are feeling a little bit overwhelmed by all of this information, the most important part you already have, and that is motivation. This is clearly something that you are interested in doing, something that you want to do. That is the most important part. And it sounds kind of daunting, but it really isn't. It should be a wonderful experience for you. You just enjoy the learning, enjoy participating, and listen. You all, I'm easily reachable at Women's League as well. Anytime you have a question, you feel free to send me an email, drop me an email. I'll be happy to help you out in any way possible. I myself had a bat mitzvah as an adult. I was considerably younger than I am now, But I had a bat mitzvah as an adult. I did not have a bat mitzvah growing up because when I was 13 years old, I was not Jewish. Okay, so I did not have a bat mitzvah until I was an adult. And it was one of the best things that I did.
And
So-
look at her now.
A rabbi.
That's right. And I did it together with a class of women. And there was a camaraderie amongst all of us because we had studied together, we worked together, we prepared together. And it was just a really nice service in the end because it was something that we all had worked on together. So I would definitely encourage you to give it a try. And I think that, listen, I've worked with 13-year-olds for preparing them for their bar and bat mitzvah. And some of them are reluctant. Some of them don't want to do the preparation. You've already passed that hurdle. You have the motivation. That's the most important part. So I really encourage you all, give it a try.
And one other thing that I don't think is an issue for anybody on here, but you have to be a Women's League member to take this class. So I know for those who are already taking Hebrew and it's not an issue, but we do check that because this is a benefit. This is one of your member benefits. So
Anyway, thank you.
Being a member of the sisterhood in my community automatically puts, I'm a member of the sisterhood in my congregation.
As
yeah,
long as your
that's-
congregation is an affiliated one.
Yeah,
with
it is.
Women's
It is,
League,
it
so
is.
you're
Yeah,
fine.
there's
fine.
somebody that in my congregation that has been exceedingly active in Women's League is Marcia Cohn. I don't know if you know her or not, from our community.
As long as, it's an affiliated, but are you taking Hebrew right now?
Yes, I am.
Yeah,
they-
so then you've been checked, you've been vetted.
And I also
You're-
want to
you're
go
fine.
into advanced, I think we go from Hebrew to advanced Hebrew I don't know how that works. They'll let
Advanced
us know.
beginner.
Probably intermediate in between.
We have advanced beginner, I think. We have to
Oh,
take
I meant-
advanced beginner.
Yeah,
Advanced beginner.
advanced beginner, after beginner, advanced beginner.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Sounds like swimming.
Assuming Sharon passes us, assuming Sharon passes. us.
well,
They're
there's no
kind-hearted.
final exams, so
No exams at all.
right,
So-
there's no exams at all. So
We have really been enjoying the class with her.
Yeah.
She's been exceptional. She worked
Yeah.
so hard to make it come alive and goes to YouTube and finds the
Yeah.
different chants for us to do the prayers.
Who do you
with.
have, who's your teacher?
Oh,
Sharon,
she's
Sharon.
amazing.
Sharon
Sharon
Who is
Katz.
that? Sharon
Sharon
Katz.
is just amazing. Yeah.
and
as a
all
teacher.
of our Hebrew teachers, we have 8 teachers
Wow.
this semester. We have 8 different classes going on, and they're all volunteers.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
we're
Wow.
all- we're
All of the
volunteers.
women, all of the volunteers, I mean, we are volunteers. So everybody wants this, you get to a certain stage and you're really depending on each other to motivate, as Rabbi said, to get you going and, nothing like good
Yeah.
women friends. So anyway, thank you. This
All right,
was
thank
lovely
you
to
so
meet
much.
you
If you
all.
think of anything else, just send me an email and I'll have that email out to you. I'm actually going out of town on Wednesday, so I'll have it either tonight or tomorrow to you.
Well, safe
the
travels.
information.
Okay. Thank you.
Julia and
Thank
Ellen.
you.
Take
Thank
care.
you.
See everybody
Ellen.
Friday. See everybody
Right.
See
Friday.
you,
And Thursday
see you
evening.
Thursday and
Right,
Friday.
Thursday evening, you're right,
Thursday
sorry.
evening first.
Thursday evening and Friday.
That's a
7:30
double dose,
Eastern
triple dose
time.
this
Let's
week.
start with
Yeah.
Thursday.
This
Okay,
Thursday.
good.
All right.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Night.
Night,
All right,
everyone.
Night.
Bye.
Thank you,
Bye.
Rabbi.
Bye.
Bye.